Good morning.
Morning.
My last year in college, I discovered a magic word. That magic word to reshape my life and to plan the next 10 years that's coming. I had a professor, his name is Dr. Hackenberry, and I loved his stories. So after one of the lectures, I asked him if I can meet with him for some advice. And he said, come to my office Thursday at 1 p.m. So I did. And then he started sharing stories with me. And at the end of that hour, he told me, why can't I be your mentor? I was like, I never even heard that word before, but sure. So I start meeting with him every single Thursday, listening to his stories for a whole year. After I graduated, I start my business, as most of you know, as an accountant with no experience or money. So I start going to businesses and ask them if I can be their accountant. After a few rejections that day, I entered the body shop that the owner was there and his secretary discussing some accounting things. And I was like, can I offer you my accounting services? And they said, we have this problem that we're running into with account receivable that we have no idea how to fix. It keeps coming back. And that's when it hit me, and I remember the first story that Dr. Hackenberry told me. Always say there is two ways to solve the problem when you don't know the answer. And that's exactly what I did. And I told them, unfortunately, my schedule is full today and tomorrow, which was not true. But if you grant me access, I will look into the problem and see the way you're doing it is probably the accurate way, but I just want to make sure that you're not missing anything. So let me have access, and I will get back here Thursday morning at 9 a.m. with an answer. They did. I went home, called all my competitors, and asked them how to solve this problem, and how much would you charge for this problem. After 2 days of Google searching and talking to competitors, I went back Thursday morning, 9 a.m., looking like a hero, and I earned the account. And I knew how much to charge, just slightly less than my competitors. And it worked. The second story, as I'm looking for business and going around from business to business, I walked into this office where the receptionist looked so grumpy. I got frightened, and I knew the answer. So I started looking around the room to see if somebody else is moving so I can talk to them and skip her. And that was the case. There was a lady sitting toward the back, and she looked so sweet and smiley. So I was like, that's when it hit me, and I remember the second story Dr. Hackenberry shared with me. Always look for the smiley face. Even when they reject you, they don't destroy your moral for that day. So I did wave at her, pretending I know her, and I start walking toward the counter. As the grumpy lady lifted her head up, she said, how may I help you, sir? I said, I'm with her. And that was amazing, because she walked toward me and she said, come son, sit here in my humble desk. And I did. And I offered her my service. And she said, unfortunately, we have an inside accountant. But my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law own businesses. She gave me 5 names that day that I hit in the same exact day with a warm deal from this beautiful woman. 3 of them became my client for many years. So always look for the smiley face, as Dr. Hackenberry said. The third story Dr. Hackenberry shared with me is never accept cash as a form of payment. And by cash, I mean checks, credit cards, any form of money when you're doing a project. In 2016, my business is flourishing. I had one of my clients who offered me $30,000 to do 6-month consulting deal for them. And that's when I remember Dr. Hackenberry's advice: don't accept cash if you believe in the project as a form of payment. And that's exactly what I did. I told them, I will not accept your payment. However, I want to consult you and grow the business and reach the goals you want to reach. And if I do, I need a percentage of the business, because that's what Dr. Hackenberry would have done. And I did that. In 2019, that company ended up being the fastest growing company in Colorado, number 11 on Inc. 5000 in the nation, and I made more than $30,000. That's the advice I got from my mentor. But the best thing I got from my mentors since then is way better than any of those advices. Every single time I go out with my mentors, they always pay for lunch and dinner. So I'm always guaranteed a free meal whenever I go out with my mentors. And that's my advice to you. Find a mentor who takes you out to lunches and dinners. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo.
Thank you.